Ah yes, the magnificent Trolley Sourbright Crawler, also known as Trollicus brightolus. The worm's captivating neon colour makes it an easy gummy prey.
Trolley!
It's a surprisingly sour, invitingly chewy, staggeringly snackable species unlike anything else found on this planet.
Eat me!
Delicious. Visit Trolley.com to shop now.
Trolley, eat me!
Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. On this episode of This Week in Gaming, we're talking about the Game of the Year nominees and why the Game Awards might actually be communists. We'll be arguing over whether a DLC should be eligible for a nomination, and we're taking a trip down south as we look at a pretty incredible looking South of Midnight. But first, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh, and joining me, he's secretly a bug lover and was the mastermind for Big Terminid in their bid to keep Helldivers 2 out of the Game of the Year category. It's Ryan.
How dare you put me with Big Terminid? I hate Big Terminid. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's what a Big Terminid would say.
Oh, that is what a Big Terminid would say, but I'm also, you're going to put me in, in the spotlight, man.
I'm just kidding. Listen, it was all for the fun of the show. I would never accuse you, Ryan.
Big Liberty's going to come get me. Watch out.
No, I take it back. Ryan's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll prove it soon. Trust me.
Oh, man. Ryan, we got a lot to talk about today. Some weeks, not so great. This week, we got plenty because we're just going to start right off with it, man. The Game Award nominees were announced. So the Game of the Year nominees by the Game Awards, the list came out. There was a lot of conversation around this. Let me just read the list. Let's start off with that, Ryan. I'll just read it. So for people that don't know what the actual games are, it is Astrobot, Metaphor Refantasio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Balatro, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, and Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Now, I mean, it's a good list of games, Ryan.
It's a solid list.
But I feel like there's something missing on this list, man.
I would say there is, and I have something to say about that. Can I have a minute?
Hey, man, the stage is yours, Ryan.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly baffling how a game like Helldivers 2 could be overlooked in Game of the Year nominations. Here we are, in an age where the industry is supposed to be about choice, innovation, and above all, freedom. The freedom to take risk, to break boundaries, to challenge players in ways that other genres simply can't. And yet, we see titles that offer polished experiences, sure, but ultimately feel like they're playing it safe, staying within the confines of well-trodden formulas. Helldivers 2, on the other hand, is just simply a game. It's a statement. A cooperative, fast-paced shooter with a brutal learning curve. It demands teamwork and strategy in a way that few other games dare to. The sheer audacity to offer something this dynamic, this original, and then watch it be dismissed, it is a betrayal of the very principles that should be celebrated in the gaming world. Democracy in gaming, it's time we demand it. Liberty in recognition, it's time we defend it. Helldivers, let's dive.
Amen, brother.
Right?
Amen to that, I say.
I have very strong feelings on this. And obviously, if you couldn't tell by that monologue there, I can't believe they left Helldivers 2 off the list, man.
How are you going to leave Helldivers 2 off the list for the Game of the Year nominees? Look, everybody has said, listen, I know Helldivers 2 isn't going to win, but it should be a nominee. It was such a good, amazingly fun game. And for it to not be in the list of nominees is an atrocity, in my opinion, man.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like we said, I didn't think it was going to win. I didn't expect it to win, but to not even have a nomination when you have such a big core of just gaming fans that just absolutely loved this game and all the chaos that they went through with Sony, and to group together to fight back against, Big Terminid, aka Big Sony, and get your wish, and like remove all that stuff to do that, to group together. And then that shows how much passion people had of this game and how big it was. And to not even get the nomination, it just, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Look, it deserves its dues. That's the thing. And again, nobody is saying, hey, I think this is going to beat out a game like Astrobot or, Shadow of the Erdtree, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But it's like, but it deserved it, man. It deserved to be in that pantheon of like best games of 2024. It kind of breaks my heart that it's not. We play video games to have fun.
Yes.
And Helldivers 2 is some of the most fun that we have had playing a video game in a long time.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun, man.
And I get that it's not everybody's cup of tea with the gameplay loop on it, but it's like, I cannot think of another game that brought gamers together the way Helldivers 2 had.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was saluting. And like posting online, and everybody would chime in, and it was just a really fun, awesome time for gamers when that happened. And so it just seems weird that that game is not in the Game of the Year nominees.
Wow,
no slander against the games that are. It just, that was the glaring omission that we felt like was there. And so we wanted to bring it up at the top of the show.
Very strongly, we might add.
Yeah. So, Ryan, what do you think about these other nominees? Again, I'll list them off. Astrobot, Metaphor Refantasio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Balatro, Shadow of the Erdtree, and Black Myth Wukong. I don't want to talk about what we feel like might be missing on that list or why it's not an accurate list, because we're going to have our own Game of the Year episode where we'll cover all of our different nominees and stuff like that. So for this list and what it is, like, what do you think about it?
I think it's a pretty solid list, obviously minus what we had previously mentioned earlier in the episode, but I think overall it's pretty solid. I mean, Astrobot is just an absolutely fantastic game.
That's I'll come out and say it. That's my Game of the Year.
Dude, I'm right there with you.
Winner,
man.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like that's one that just the graphics, the gameplay, the sound, the audio, all those things, it just checks all those boxes that makes just an amazing game. And so I think they're spot on with that one. I know we've heard great things about Refantasio. A lot of people are just gangbusters about it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy's always, everybody loves it.
I didn't play Rebirth, so I did play the first remake, but I'd never got a chance to play Rebirth. I saw a lot of people talking about it. It looked really good, but I'll be honest, that's a game I'm pretty ignorant of at this point. So it's like, I don't know if it's Game of the Year material or not, just because I don't have any firsthand experience with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I didn't play it. I'm going to get a lot of hate, I'm sure. I always do, but I think it's as overrated as Chipotle. It's good, but it's not as great as
I'm with you on the Chipotle thing, but not on the Final Fantasy.
I know, but I don't like turn-based combat, so that's my thing. But Balatro, we saw it in our Discord. Everyone was always posting there, look at my high score, look what I did. Oh man, look at this combo, and they were posting that like crazy. Elden Ring, the fact that they're allowing DLCs in this, it's like an automatic.
Don't go there yet.
I know. All right. I'll hold off on that. But yeah, Elden Ring, great, obviously, and then Black Myth. We've already talked about how much we like that game. It was a pretty solid game. A lot of people were higher on it than me, but I have no qualms about it being in the Game of the Year nominees.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my list for the Game of the Year nominees will be different than this list for sure.
Yeah. Same, dude.
But I don't disagree with this list either.
I can see reasons why these games are on here.
Exactly.
Like, I can accept it.
Yep, exactly. But Astrobot to me stands above. Well, there's another one that stands above. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about it,
All
Ryan.
right, let's do it.
Because for me, I have been saying for a while that Shadow of the Erdtree was one of my favorite games of 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, that came out as a huge Elden Ring fan and a fan of the Dark Souls games in general. Like, Shadow of the Erdtree was just perfection in everything that like somebody could want for that type of expansion. But it did cause some controversy because it is in the Game of the Year nominees. And people said, yo, wait a minute. That's not a standalone game. That's a DLC. And people went, yeah. And they said, well, DLC shouldn't qualify for Game of the Year. And I think you and I might be on opposite sides on this, Ryan. So I'm just going to come out and say it. I think it should.
Yeah.
If it is a full-fledged DLC, like I'll give a good comparison real quick. Remnant 2, one of my absolute favorite games. Everybody knows I'm always shilling for Remnant 2.
Yep.
They have DLCs, but they're small. It's 3 hours of gameplay, maybe. Maybe a little bit longer, but it's just a little bit more of that game. If you're giving me a DLC that is 20 to 30 hours long, to me, that's a game.
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty for Cyberpunk famously is one of the best DLCs I've ever played. It's a full-fledged standalone version of a game. It's just based on a primary game, I guess. It's based on something else and it's connected to that, but it's enough content to be its own thing at that point. So I know we can't always throw those clarifiers in when we're saying, well, we're going to nominate this and not nominate that. But Shadow of the Erdtree is a phenomenal thing in and of itself. And yes, it's tied to Elden Ring, but I think it deserves every right to be in this list. Do you disagree? Because you're grinning at me.
Well, it's hard because I get it. Like in the old days, these would have been just like another game, but now they can offer them as a DLC, and hey, we developed this as well. And you do have a point that if it's, 20 plus hours, we played games that are 8 to 12 hours recently. So, and that's a full game. And so having that much content available to you, even if it's categorized as a DLC, is quite a bit. My problem with it is it's like, okay, hey, we always talk food here because we're a big bunch of chunky monkeys, but you have the best burger in the world. And then they're like, hey, I know you like this burger, but we're going to put bacon on it. And it's a new burger. And then
it is a new burger.
And then,
it's a burger with bacon, which is different than a burger without bacon.
Yeah, now it's the burger with bacon. It's the same burger, but now they added bacon to it. And so it's like, come on, man, you already have the best burger. Now you just put even better stuff on it. And so I know maybe it's a little bit of jealousy on the fact that they can just kind of put out the DLC and then get the Game of the Year. But there's no hate. But it's kind of, I'm on the fence,
as he's sneering.
Yeah.
There's no hate, but
there's no, whatever. You can roll your way to the Game of the Year.
Yeah, it's so good, man. It's just, that's my issue, is that I think it belongs there. I will say, in this fun little argument, I can understand somebody's point of view to say, hey, I think it should just be, it's not fair to have a DLC come out. Elden Ring already got its dues. It doesn't need it again with Shadow of the Erdtree. Let somebody else stand in its place. But it's like, but if it was that good, shouldn't it be in the conversation too?
For sure. I feel you.
Yeah. So, all right, we've got a lot more to talk about. But first, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about some South of Midnight, which has me pretty darn excited.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Kroger Delivery makes it easy to do your holiday shopping in a jingle. There might be a lot on your to-do list, but thanks to Kroger Delivery, you can get everything you need delivered straight to your door at the same great prices you'd find in store. Our refrigerated trucks always ensure that your groceries arrive fresh. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order of $75 or more and get free delivery with a Boost membership. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
All right, Ryan, we're back. Over the break, you admitted that you thought I was right about the whole DLC being...
Oh, is that what I said?
But all right, let's talk about South of Midnight. We covered this game very briefly. I don't know. I feel like it was a few months ago when it was very first announced. And we said, man, the art style on this game really stands out to me. It's set in the Deep South, which is near and dear to me because I lived in Louisiana for 10 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of the scenery in this game actually kind of like resonates with me because I'm like, oh, this totally reminds me of Louisiana. But this it's kind of hard to describe because it's very, very story and like character driven. And it almost looks like you're watching an incredibly animated cartoon. I mean, one of the best animated cartoons I think I could say I've seen. But then it shows gameplay, and the gameplay is more like kind of action oriented. Like it shows these big boss fights and you're springing off of things and
jumping
kind of
around
dashing around
and
and jumping and stuff like that. And then it's like, what is this game?
What is this?
Yeah. So you watched this trailer, this first look that we got that showed off some of the gameplay. What were your impressions of this?
I thought the same thing. I thought it looked just really like unique, really cool, just something different about it. There's an art style there that I know we've recently been talking about art styles, whether we like or dislike them, but it was something that it for the setting, it seemed to work. It had that little bit of an edge to it that I did enjoy watching it. And so then I feel like I would enjoy playing it as well. So I like I like all different kinds of settings and different worlds. And so it's almost like, I know you talk about like being in the South where you grew up and stuff. It's like when they mention stuff about Arizona, because I'm born and raised native Arizonan, and it's that Leonardo DiCaprio from the movie where he's like whoop whoop whoop, and he's pointing at the TV because he's like, he recognized
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Wolf of Wall Street. It was Hollywood. Once
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was
there we
like,
go.
and he's pointing at the TV. That's every time. So I can imagine you looking at it like, and it gets you hyped up. So it's just that setting just seems neat, and it resonated with me just because I thought it looked so cool. So I'm excited, man. I think it looks like something that's going to be kind of fun with a good story, but also action-packed with kind of big cinematics and big bosses and big action. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested to see. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember looking at this prior, but we go through so many dang games, man. We look at so many trailers.
It was brief.
It was
just a little
we'll get little
trailer.
snippets, and then we're like, yeah, we looked at this a few months ago, and I'm like, I got dude, I don't remember yesterday. So,
dude, every now and then I'll scroll back through our episodes and look at titles or something, and then I'm like, I don't remember talking about that game.
All right,
we do. We talk about a lot of different games. I think South of Midnight looks pretty darn incredible.
Yeah.
When we saw this kind of first look at it, they talked about it. This is absolutely their focus is the story, the characters, the music, the soundtrack in this game. It seems to be absolutely exceptional. They even talk about that. The art style, I think, is really, really neat and gorgeous in that regard. The thing that bugs me is it's got a stop motion animation art style as well.
Yeah.
And it carries over to the gameplay part. And so they even say, like, people will think this is like a frame rate issue, but it's just the actual style of the animation. And that's when I kind of went like, ooh, man, like it's like this thing's locked at like 26 frames per second or something, no matter what. And I'm like, ooh, that would take some getting used to. But they said it's about 8 to 12 hours, I think. So they're not trying to overstay its welcome or anything else. But this game, this is one of those, I think it's going to be a game as an experience type thing, or like game as art. You know, I don't think anybody's going to write home about the actual gameplay part, but any game that leaves you talking or thinking about it after you play it and fits into that category is usually worth the playtime as well.
That's a win. Yeah, especially like you said, if it's 8 to 10 hours, go have an awesome experience for, whatever, the price is for it and stuff. But you're going to walk away remembering it and feeling happy about that experience.
Yeah. Well, an experience that I wish I could forget, Ryan, is the experience of Battlefield 2042.
I'm with you, my friend.
And when it launched into the hearts of gamers everywhere, the love letter to its fans.
I felt so loved, obviously.
Oh, man. Listen, we trash Battlefield 2042 around here a lot, but it's for good reason. We loved the Battlefield franchise. We were talking about, hey, they say, oops, sorry, we'll learn from our mistakes. The next one will be better. Well, here it is, Ryan. We're already starting to get a little drip of teaser information for the next Battlefield game.
It's something good, right? It's got to be something amazing.
It's absolutely fantastic. Just trust me, Ryan.
Well, hold on. They've been working on this. Like, one of our favorite things in the world is destructible environments. We played Red Faction Guerrilla, like amazing, awesome destruction. Battlefield was always so good with the destruction. We're going to have some cool advancement, right? In destructible environments, buildings, all that type of stuff. It's going to be something big. I can imagine, right?
It's got to be truly next gen, Ryan. Like truly next gen.
Okay,
for
lay
it
it
to
on
make
me.
the next Battlefield game.
I gotta know.
All right, Ryan. Well, not only that, but it's actually a feature that they had before that they're bringing back, and I'm sure making it better.
Okay.
That missing feature that was hotly requested by every Battlefield fan ever was the ability to lean.
Don't dance, we just pull up our pants and do the rock away. Now lean back, lean back, lean back. Come on. I said, don't dance, we just pull up our pants and do the rock away.
I can
the
lean.
Ability, you don't want the ability to lean,
How
Ryan?
have I lived my whole life playing these games without being able to have the ability to lean?
You are missing out because leaning will change your life, man. Let me tell you. Okay.
I'm just like rubbing. You guys can't see this. You guys can't see it, but I'm rubbing my eyes right now. Just.
This is the best they have to offer as like the teaser drip.
Wait, guys, don't go to Call of Duty. Listen, our next game, you can lean.
Well, you used to be able to lean, and then somebody took it away. That's enough leaning for people, man. Get it out of here.
These young ones are leaning too much. We better take this out of the game.
Oh man, this does not give me confidence at all.
No.
Here's the funny part. I didn't know you could lean in Battlefield games anyway.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know you could either.
I don't think I've ever leaned in a Battlefield game. So it's like, this is the thing that got taken away, and they're now giving back to people. And fans of the series, we didn't know you could lean in the first place, man.
That's why we're sniping, or we're in freaking choppers, like blowing stuff up. Like, that's what made the game fun. You know, good combative gameplay, not these weird little things. I honestly, it would have been better if they just didn't announce anything at all. But to come out with something like this, you got to be tone deaf. Like, I don't understand why they thought this was a good idea to announce this.
It's the only thing I can think of is we need to start resonating with the fans and bringing back the things that they wanted, like the scoreboard, you know, or some of these other options, server browsers, things like that. And I think they went, okay, well, what's something that they want that we can say we're going to give them? And then somehow leaning was what they landed on.
That's top of the list.
Oh, my goodness.
Ay, caramba.
Yeah, well, that doesn't, I don't even know what to think about Battlefield anymore, man. You know who I do know what to think about, though? And that is Blizzard.
Oh.
Because I have historically was a huge fan of Blizzard games and then not so much, but I have this problem where I keep playing them because they're fun. And as much as I hate Blizzard and the stuff behind it, I like their games are just fun, man.
Dude, I'm still playing Diablo 2, bro. So
I got sucked back into Hearthstone, Ryan. I'm freaking playing Hearthstone again.
I saw you and Paul talking about it. I'm like,
good.
what are they doing?
I don't want to be here, man.
You guys playing Battlegrounds? You guys?
Is it Jerry Maguire where they're just like, I can't quit you. And it's like,
that's a whole different movie, brother.
Is that a different movie? It's like, that's what I feel like, man. I'm like, what is it with these games? Overwatch, Hearthstone. All right, man. But one of the things I do know about Blizzard is that they make a good video game, and you start talking about open world shooter with Blizzard making it, and I can't help but get excited, man.
No, I feel you. It's hard because we have such an up and down relationship with Blizzard because we had such high highs before, some of the best ever games, made. And then they just kind of do these crazy things with what they've done lately with everything that they've created. And And it makes you a little leery, like, oh man, I'm not sure about that. But man, if they can hit the mark, one thing I'll know is that they will make some epic cutscenes. The cutscenes and the cinematics are going to be outstanding.
Well, here's the thing, Ryan, because people are saying that they think the game is going to be in the StarCraft universe.
Oh,
and
okay.
So you start telling me that I'm going to get an open world shooter with Blizzard's quality that has like the Zerg and the Protoss and stuff like that in it. Like, oh man,
we need additional pylons.
Yeah, like that could be really good. Like, it's one of the things, like, we troll Ubisoft a lot because you see these mega corporations, they make games, and like you see that the games are just so routine and bland, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? Blizzard makes a good video game, man. Like, as much as you can rail against like their monetization and stuff like that, like, they stand apart with the quality of their games. So it's one of those things where I just kind of instantly assume that this game is going to be pretty darn enjoyable, even though we've seen no footage, we've seen nothing other than a strong rumor about it. But I can't help it, man.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man.
Gets me excited.
I know more than likely we're probably going to freaking check it out and we're going to play it and we're probably going to get sucked in and hooked on it. But yeah, it's one of those things. If they do it, I never, it's like politics or anything else. No matter what side you're on, I just hope they do it right and they do it well, because then at the end of the day, that's good for everybody. So I want them to make a good quality game that's not focused just solely on money. Make something just like a passion project that's open world. You get a great experience, you get great graphics, you get a great fun, amazing time, and you'll make the money from that. Everybody will just love it, and it's going to be amazing. So, yeah, I don't know. Blizzard always gets me all twisted, man.
It's tough, and that's the thing, because they make fun games that you want to play, or at least I want to play. Maybe they just resonate with me for some reason, even though I hate the monetization part of it.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is, as much as I can hate dude, my kids spend so much money on cosmetics. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And it's like, I could care less about cosmetics. Like, my daughter just bought some like $20 Mercy skin the other day.
Oh,
and I was like, my brain just rails against that, because it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? But she is so happy about it. And it was her money. I mean, it's like, spend it how you want. You earned it. But it's like, I just can't fathom that. But for me, I don't have to spend a dime, because I could care less about that stuff. And I still get a good video game to play out of it. So it's this weird toss-up where it's like, I like the games, I feel a little gross about it, but also they're fun to play.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Yeah. All right, we're almost out of time, Ryan. A couple, articles and news stories that we're not going to really have a chance to get into was the kind of reemergence of Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
They gave the game away for free, and a whole bunch of people picked it up. They got to play it and experience it, which I think every gamer in the world should do.
Absolutely.
So kudos to that. It actually broke their all-time concurrent player record, because I guess they weren't keeping track of concurrent stuff before Half-Life 2 or something like that.
It was like almost 70,000 or something crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But yeah, so love that. We got a glimpse of like some footage from the Half-Life 2 episode 3 that never made it out. It really wasn't a lot. It showed an ice gun that did look pretty cool, where you could actually like spray ice in front of you and then skate along it, like the Silver Surfer Frozone, I guess, from Incredibles. So that looked kind of neat to me.
Well, now you said Half-Life 3, so that's another 3 years.
Yeah.
Then I said it. That's another 3 years. That's 6 years.
Stop.
Dang it.
No, I said it again. World of Warcraft's getting player housing. I'll be honest, I didn't know that wasn't a thing. I can't believe that's such a big deal, but it is. And that is about it. So that's going to wrap up this episode of This Week in Gaming. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's always fun talking video games to everybody. If you enjoyed the show, remember to follow us. Hit that subscribe button, that plus button. Make sure you add us to your podcast app. You can follow us on socials at Video Gamers Pod. And, if you feel like you want to go above and beyond to help support this show, to keep this content rolling out, if you've been enjoying it for a while, consider supporting the show. You can do that over at multiplayersquad.com. We give you a lot of perks if you do that: early access, ad-free episodes, Discord perks, and some other things. It's, but also you're helping to support this show as well. So we really do appreciate it, as does everybody else. But that's it for this episode. So until next time, happy gaming.
For liberty. For democracy. See ya!